past 12 weeks that we've been watching The Bachelorette, I feel like we've really solidified our connection. And I feel just, you always have a way of validating my feelings and my needs, and I was wondering if you would please accept this rose.
I'd love to accept this rose.
There you go.
I've been waiting for this.
I know.
Thank
Till next time. There's no thorns in it, so it won't pop out, I hope.
So, what got you interested in the Bachelor series? Bachelor, Bachelorette, Bachelor. We're currently in Bachelor in Paradise.
Yeah, the franchise. I started watching it, I thought about that. I started watching it 7 years ago. At this point, I consider myself kind of like a metaphysical anthropologist of Bachelor Nation, which is like, so Bachelor Nation being two things: the population of contestants as a whole can be Bachelor Nation. That's because, like, when you think about 21 seasons of The Bachelor and 19, I think, seasons of The Bachelorette and 3 seasons of Bachelor Pad and 2 seasons of Bachelor in Paradise, it's like a lot of contestants. So that's Bachelor Nation, and then Bachelor Nation is also like the state of mind that you have to enter into in order to accept what's happening.
What's gonna happen? What was the point where you were like, I'm gonna start watching this?
It just happened. And I think, you know, what I really learned after a while was, like, sometimes, you know, you think you're making art about something and then you're spending all your time thinking about something else. Like, you have, like, a stupid hobby, and you're like, oh, my practice is about this thing, and then you realize you've had this other interest that's been flourishing all along.
But what has made you stay? What has made you a fan?
Now there's, like, sort of a 4D component that wasn't there when I started watching it in 2008, which is now Instagram and Snapchat and Twitter. But there's, like, a gap, you know, between when you're watching it. You're not watching this unfold in real time. You're watching it unfolded 2 months ago. So, like, the contestants are basically, like, living it twice. They live it, and it's filmed, and then they have to live it
in almost like a second life through other people.
And people are asking them to justify their actions, and they're, you know, arguing about it. It's really fascinating. And, man, people are haters. People are mean.
People are mean.
I know
on
that's
the
like
internet.
I know that's like a real basic thing to say, but it never ceases to amaze me.
For anybody who is watching who doesn't know a little bit about your practice, could you talk about what kind of art you make and what work you're making about the Bachelor franchise, the Bachelor, what did you call it?
Franchise, The Bachelor and Bachelor Nation.
Bachelor Nation.
I made this video called Outer Darkness about Eric Hill, who died on The Bachelorette. He didn't die on the show, but he left the show and died while the show was still filming, and they had to deal with his death in the show. My next piece is either going to be using this current season of The Bachelorette that just wrapped with Caitlyn, which was a real fucked up season.
Well, we have some other questions.
Are they going in the tub?
They're going in the tub, and they're just gonna float around.
I'm gonna settle in.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just, like,
it's your tub, girl. Questions are
there
random.
There they go.
They're just
Are you
floating
pulling
around.
them or am I pulling them?
I'll pull them.
You're gonna pull them and read them?
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
sweet. I like that.
One. What is the relationship between your curatorial practice and your art practice? And would you say there's a difference between your work's relationship with F and your work's relationship with compliance?
So Compliance Division is the project space that I've been running with Tabitha Nikolai since February. And F is F Portland, which started in 2012. I have a curatorial compulsion, and I've realized this, like, I just can't help myself. So I'm always doing something, like, I don't, you know.
Do you think it's bad? I mean...
No.
Compulsion usually has, like, connotation of like you maybe want to stop, but you can't.
I mean, I guess I don't want to stop, but I never want to like just do it for the sake of doing it. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, exposure as a currency is really important in a like art economy that doesn't operate with money like the one I'm in. So I get that. It's definitely, compliance division is, I would call it like flexing a different muscle. F Portland is based on a call, first of all, which is super different. And cool, like it was definitely in that way allowed me to really absorb a lot quickly. You watch 500 films and you kind of form an encyclopedia in your head and you start seeing you get pattern recognition, and filmmakers' names come up over a couple years, and it just allows you to build this kind of network. Ben and I, you know, I think we often liked to tweak and experiment with the form of the festival and like different things we were doing, but it's like you do something and then you learn from it and then you wait 12 months and then you do it again. Whereas with compliance division, the chameleonic impulse is like really easy because it's just like we're turning it over and turning it over and turning it over. You know, I love the experimental film community, and they've embraced me, and it's cool to do screenings. It's cool to like figure out different ways to make that happen.
So next question. I'm just
Stir it up.
Try to scoop one up.
Hook it
with my foot and just
whoop.
Whoop, whoop. In the mouth. Singularity. Yay or nay?
Yay. Fuck this meat sack. Get me out of it. I'm ready to go. Ready to go.
Upload. What is your favorite exhibition space in Portland?
People who just go for it, like Bronco, those ladies. That I'm like pumped on them for sure.
So Bronco is a gallery that's running out of a
truck.
Is it Ford? Ford Bronco?
It must be a Ford Bronco. That sounds right.
It sounds like something Ford would call something. They park outside of other art shows, right?
Yes.
And they put up a little sandwich board and open up the back. And there's the art.
I'm feeling it. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
You know, S1 is awesome. The breadth of it is so impressive. It reminds me of Place.
Yeah.
You know?
Place.
Just, it's
forever
great.
In our hearts.
It's great when people just really go for it and they're just
bring
willing.
Bring us back to the mall.
Well, I mean, where S1 was used to be like a crazy discount store.
Yeah.
So it's kind of appropriate. It's appropriate. I love my next door neighbor, Kaylee Nelson, who runs composition. I love you, Kaylee. It's an embarrassment of riches here, frankly. True facts.
True. All right. You recently showed a 3-channel video.
I did.
For a Pure Surface event. Can you talk about that work and also what it's like to work in the Pure Surface model? So, like, where an artist is paired up with dancer?
Movement person and, like, a text person.
Okay.
And then a moving image person. Pure Surface is amazing. It's such an elegant concept. And it's also so, like, there's so many possibilities, and I've seen so many different things every time I've gone. So I've done 2. And the first time, it was actually really amazing because, feeling yourself. Get it. We're just gonna, like, slide in.
Keep losing my balance. Whoa.
Okay. Oh, hey. This is not, actually, okay.
I think I prefer this.
Oh, this is we should have been doing this the whole time. So yeah, the first time I did Pure Surface, they matched me up with Catherine Egan, who's the dancer, and then Kaya Sand, who 13 or 14 years ago was my poetry teacher, and we had not seen each other since, and that was amazing to work with her. It was really profound.
Yeah.
It was super cool. and just downloaded a bunch of shit off of YouTube. Just took a splash, just splashed around, took a Derive, downloaded a billion clips, and then spent a couple nights when I was on the road, like, cutting it together in this very sort of intuitive way.
What are the clips of?
The clips are mostly from, actually, they're mostly from an NHK show that I was talking about earlier called Begin Japanology on cultured pearls in Japan. The name of the oyster is Pintada Fukada, that they shove the seed pearls into. Okay. And then a bunch of footage from, like, cosmetics and face wash and high-end cream, high-end face care and skincare
nice
products.
Cream.
And so we decided to use all 3 of the screens at Holocene. And so that was, I think that's the first, like, I've definitely done a 3-channel piece before, but that's definitely the most complicated piece I think I've ever made.
The way the screens are set up in Holocene, there's, one in each room. And so while these, like, really beautiful, like, skin tone things are happening, and, like, balls of light are moving, and then there's text, and I'm like,
really
I
intense.
was going from room to room just being like, oh, follow the text. It was the first time in a long time that a video piece has made me move my body and want to move around to see it.
That's awesome.
Because usually it's like, oh, I'm in a place and here's a video, and I feel as if there's so many opportunities in my days to watch videos that's just straight ahead of me that I'm like,
I appreciate you saying that, actually, because
I mean, I love watching videos, but
first of all, it was Lindsay's text, and it was her idea to have it move, which I thought was great. And I think I would like to work with her and make some GIFs, with her text and some of that footage.
Ooh.
Make like a little online poem that you click through with GIFs.
All right. How would you define your aesthetic?
Stolen. I'm not really concerned anymore about, like, having the technically nicest or highest quality shit because I stole it anyway, and it's like, why should I try to fucking hide it that I stole it? We should be making work for smaller screens. I'm into that. I'm not really at a point where I can be spending money on beautiful LED giant screen walls and, like, the things that kind of, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Production value.
But if you could.
No. I mean...
Yeah. A giant LED screen wall? What? I mean, I would just play with that, We could watch The Bachelor on that.
That's true. Why not think really big? I mean, if we're gonna think really big, then I make a pool. It's like an in-ground pool / grotto that has like
screens at the
sculptures.
bottom.
I mean, sure. We're in an ideation mode right now. We can have screens anywhere we want. We want screens down below. We have art.
The water's actually a screen.
Pedestals.
You swim through
we swim through screens. There are state-of-the-art speakers everywhere. It's like the Willy Wonka tunnel. I mean, I don't know.
Sorry.
I don't spend money on my work.
Okay. So what is your workflow like? How do you set yourself up to make work? What are, like, the absolute necessary things you need?
I think a lot about what I do is dramaturgy, which is just an expert on the history and the historiography of the play. And so, I mean, I feel like, the way I talk about The Bachelor, like, I get a holistic view of the field. Yeah. So, for example, like, when I made Outer Darkness, I read Kate Durbin's E-Entertainment, and she's a poet and performance artist that is interested in a lot of the same things I am, and she has this amazing book. It's a poetry book, I guess, but it's like kind of based in transcripts from reality television. And like there's this chapter where Kim Kardashian's getting married to Chris Humphries, and it's so amazingly written, and it feels like such a weird ritual, like an occult, ritualistic, there's a metaphysical element to it that I really responded to, and I really took that into consideration when I made Outer Darkness. Right now, you know, the footage I'm working with is a little different. I mean, it's from commercials, which is non-narrative, and so I'm trying to sort of figure out, you know, where the narrative is going to come from. Just like scientific articles about skin and sebum and nacre, which is like, so nacre is like what oysters produce around that creates a pearl. It's like the shiny stuff. Ooh. And then sebum is like what's in your pores excrete that makes you know, the zits and shit. So the huge. I'm just reading a lot about
skin stuff,
skin stuff, processes, and then I'm
secretions.
Yeah, and then Dianetics and the law of attraction, like prosperity gospels, cults of abundance. That's something I'm interested in, and I'm wondering if there's like a connection to be made. I'm interested in like bringing that sort of corporate spirituality back to the body. Lululemon is like really fascinating to me because
it's like fancy, rich yoga lady wear.
Yeah,
right.
But they're like super into the Landmark Forum, which is like a lot of people accuse it of being a cult, and it's like workshops that you pay for. It's like Scientology or like other things where it's like it's like a pay to play kind of corporate model of a spiritual backbone. And the guy that founded Lululemon is also really into Ayn Rand, which is really funny because it's the yoga apparel. Anyway,
I'd never even thought of it being a man who thought of Lululemon, but now I'm just like, oh, I guess I just don't think of Lululemon, and when I do, I think like rich white lady. So I just thought somebody named Miranda, just, you know, it was like,
it's not Miranda.
I need some yoga wear.
I regret to inform you that it's not Miranda. Damn. I don't know the guy's name.
I wish it was Miranda.
Not that Lululemon is a force of evil in the world necessarily. The reason I'm targeting them is because it is a fitness apparel company. So it's like bringing that idea of mastery, that idea of sort of like attainment, abundance, prosperity, gospel, like back to the body in a way that I find really interesting.
I think my most recent studio habit is like I must have sparkling water.
I drink 4 cans of LaCroix a day on average. I actually, you know what? We have goblets of LaCroix over here.
Yes.
I forgot. Here we are. Oh, this is weird. Oh, gross.
Coming out.
This is so weird.
Oh, yes.
And let's have...
Ooh.
Okay, we should clink them because they make a cool... Next question.
What has made you stay in Portland?
I haven't really figured it out to move. I don't mean that in like a fuck Portland kind of way. On the one hand, I've been here for 6 years, which is longer than I've been a lot of places. And like I was in the Bay Area for 3 years and moved here and kind of had to start over. At that point, I was maybe 25, and so I'm like at a point where starting over feels harder. You get older, you start kind of having less inclination to like start from scratch. I was feeling differently about it before compliance division worked out. I think Tabby and I moving in together and starting that space was like really, for both of us, something to anchor us. We were both sort of feeling unsure about it. But I'm happy where I am, trying to be prepared for the future, but it is what it is.
And the earthquake.
Sorry about the earthquake last night. I mean...
the real one.
Yeah, Yeah, no, I know.
Nobody
Something about the earthquake.
humors me on this.
No, it's fucked. And also, Portland, to be honest, I feel like it's getting more mean. Like, I feel like people are getting really mean.
I have been cyberbullied twice in the last 2 weeks.
I was walking home last night from Beulah Land and walking by the Laurelhurst, and there was like a line outside the theater, and I had to I didn't want to go into the street, so I had to squeeze between people in the line, and I had my headphones in, but I didn't have music on, and as I squeezed through, and I didn't say anything because I was just
yeah,
trying to get through, but the guy was just excuse you. I was just
yeah.
I feel like, I don't know, people are in a bad mood.
People are in a bad mood because they can't find housing.
And I'm not trying to downplay the real problems.
Yeah.
I don't mean to be glib. I'm very lucky to be where I am, and I try to be really present in that and aware, and really keep that in mind when as part of our curatorial overarching core beliefs. That's intrinsic, is that we are giving, we are very fortunate, and we're trying to pay that forward.
Yeah. Oh, I like this one. Complete this sentence. If you like blank, then you will like my work.
I feel like I have a sense of humor.
You think? Maybe?
I don't know. I mean, I feel like my work has a sense of humor.
Yeah.
My work isn't funny like Taj's work is funny, obviously, or any number of, other people's.
Well, I feel like that kind of work is more of oh, you see it, you get it, you walk away, and there's not really much more to think about it. It's
sometimes.
It's like a one-liner. Not him specifically, but I feel like sometimes with work that has to do with being funny I don't really take that much away from it, other than oh, joke, cool.
Right.
I can't take any more irony. It's maybe...
At the same time, I feel like I kind of wish I made funnier work. I wish I was in touch with that a little more. And I feel like I'm better. I feel like, there was a long time there where I was making work that was really serious. Just super, super serious. And even when I was in graduate school, when I started making video, I was making these documentary bummer, really taking themselves super seriously. Not that I'm not embarrassed of them. They're nice, but there's a dark sense of humor in my work. I rhyme a lot, so I guess if you like rhyming,
if you like Dr. Seuss,
if you like Dr. Seuss,
you'll love Hannah Piper.
If you like Dr. Seuss, and I'm trying to think who my favorite lyricist is right now. I don't think my work is that witchy. I feel like I'm more witchy in my private life than in my art life.
Okay.
Like
Dr. Seuss and skincare.
If you like Dr. Seuss, body horror, melodrama, all those things, then I'm your girl. I'm your girl.
All right. Is there a specific work you've made in the last 5 years that felt like a turning point or a new touchstone?
Outer Darkness kind of takes the narrative to a different place, and I think it's definitely, it shows a lot more. Well, I had an epiphany recently that I'm a lot more formalist than I give myself credit for. My friend Scott called me out on this, and because I kind of, when I look at footage, have always sort of adhered to rules in terms of how I use it, and a lot of it is very in the past it's been very specific, unchanging things that govern where I cut to black, and that I'm not changing the time signature, I'm not changing the speed or the duration of the clips, that I'm very minimally altering, affecting them. And Outer Darkness was the first piece where I just really went to town with fucking around with stuff like that, and reversals and slowing stuff down, and I feel like that is really showing in the work I'm making now, the work that I am doing, that I did at Holocene, and now I really feel like have permission to do whatever.
Go for it.
Yeah.
All right, last question. Come here, little paper. Ooh. What is the last work you saw that made you think, dang, I wish I would have thought about that?
My favorite experimental film of the past year, there's been a lot that I love, but is this one called Former Models by Benji Pearson. And I had the great pleasure of meeting Benji in Milwaukee and showing his film in a program that I curated for Microlight Cinema called All Men Are Dust or Will Be. And Former Models is about Rob Pilatus, who was the lead singer of Milli Vanilli, who committed suicide. And it is so good. It's like, I can't even, it's so good. It's my favorite thing that I've seen in a really long time, and it's really relevant to my interests. So I wish I had made that. It's a super fucking cool film, and Benji is a super fucking cool dude. But I've seen a lot of really great films this year. Yeah.
Cool. Well, we're all out of questions.
Thanks for having me in the tub.
Thank you.
This is the first one. It's gonna be awkward. It's gonna be all right though. I'm gonna just.
No, we're gonna hit that bubble button and say see ya.
We're gonna hit the bubbles.
Yeah, you hit the bubbles. Lift that.
I lift it.
Lift it and hit the bubbles button.
What is the bubbles button? Oh, yep. Now that I see it, it's very obvious which one the bubble button is. What does the flame button do? If the bubbles button make bubbles happen, what does the flame button do?
It keeps the water up. Bye.